I am getting ready to edit my drive that I did yesterday. I have freezed the very start of that yesterday morning, and I want to show you what today looks like. Yesterday, this picture that you're seeing right here, and by the way, notice that here in my backyard, that's a big deer. Today is the 26th. This was the 25th. So let's run. And I know I'm pretty shaky with the camera. Just want to show you what it looks like today. This is a 26th. That's the car that I typically drive. That's my backup car, which I've just finished doing some brake work on it this morning. I mean, as this was blowing in. And one of my cats is in that building there. I think that's one of my. Anyway, she wants to stay outside. She's enjoying the weather. But the other cat's in there. I just wanted to show you what the evidence of global boiling apparently looks like. Let's just get the political stuff out of the way. And so I have another cat. She is typically outside. Let's get up on her face here. Yeah. Let's try that. There she is. Anyway, so here we go. I will now start editing this. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Here at 9 o'clock on, I believe this is the 25th. I think so. On this very beautiful morning, this is really a beautiful morning. It's quite nice. The trees down here in the valley are looking really gorgeous. Pretty much everywhere else has changed. I've been pretty much every direction. Today is, let's head south. It's interesting. Well, it's, I guess, not even interesting. It's a thing that I mean, I do this for a living, right? For the most part. I mean, I do other things, but this pays some of my bills, and I find and I enjoy knowing and finding all the different routes that are available to me. There goes my neighbors. So I find that when I get ready to head somewhere nowadays, I'm in a bit of a quandary of which way to go. Which way should I go? Should I go whatever my alternative routes may be? So this morning, I'm going to head down. Did I say it was 8:57? It's about 9 o'clock. It's cold too. We are still below freezing here. So these leaves are going to be gone. We've got an Arctic front moving in. I knew it was a cold one watching it. So all these leaves, they're going to take a pretty big hit in the next few days. Oh. Here we are crossing the Yampa River. A huge feature in this valley. We're always running on one side or the other of this river. It's finally dropped a little bit. So we just passed a nice little park, actually. It's got a nice skating rink. I have never seen the inside of that building. I could give a shit about ice skating. And we are on what the locals call Thompson Hill. It may actually be officially named Thompson Hill. The Indians probably named it. That's a joke. Haha. Was that racist? Does that make me a bad person? Well, there are probably a lot of names around here that we did borrow from the Indians or take from the Indians, or the Indians named it and we just continued with what they had to say. And then there are names of places around here that are from the explorers that showed up and fought the Indians, more than likely. Or maybe didn't fight them, maybe lived alongside them. There were a lot of people that did live alongside the Indians up here. So It was pretty inevitable, I think, that those cultures were going to clash. They did. So that power plant looks to me like it's just got a delivery of coal, probably from 20 Mile, maybe from Colorado, I don't know. But that train is leaving. It's heading back down towards Steamboat and Diamba. By the way, all that smoke that you just saw is water. That's condensation. There could be a little bit of fly ash. See, Unit 1 is running. Units 1 and 2 are pretty clean. I mean, they're not as clean as Unit 3, but they're pretty clean. Unit 1 being on the left. I have told a story about what happened out here, right? This is the best that I know it. Some people, political hacks posing as environmentalists, came out here. They call themselves the wildlife guardians. And they're probably still around somewhere. Anyway, they filed a lawsuit in court to shut the plant down because the plant was tearing up the environment, which is an astoundingly stupid, an utter amount of bullshit. But, you know, environmentalism, a true environmentalist, well, when I say a true environmentalist, I mean a believer, doesn't question the motives of the people that they're taking their orders from. They just do what they're told. And they're in on it. But what they're in on is not cleaning up the environment. What they're in on is promoting communism by destroying the West, by destroying industry. If you notice that pretty much every environmental law that has ever been made destroys industry. Now, at one point in time, there was probably a case to be made for companies that were doing bad things, bad practice, like dumping their waste into a river or something. That's incredibly stupid. Anyone, you don't have to be an environmentalist, right, to understand that that's really stupid. But that's not what environmentalism is about in our day and age. Like I said, it's not about the environment. It's all about communism. It's shutting industry down. And it works great with the globalists because the globalists have all decided they're just going to shut the world down. They're shutting the world down for, I don't know how many people they have planned on keeping. But they have anointed themselves as gods among men. And they are doing what they're going to do in spite of every government on the face of this earth. Now, the globalists haven't ran their big plan, haven't ran it through and got an agreement with the communists that that's what they're going to do. So at some point, the globalists and the communists are going to have a little tussle. Let's just assume they get their way.
and that they're able to kill, I don't know, let's say 5 billion people. That's probably a conservative estimate of what the globalists want to do. But let's start there. So now we have, let's say, 3.5 billion people, whatever we have left. Those people will then fight, because the ideology that they're embracing is communism, and communism is death to humanity. That's what communism really is. The followers of communism never look down the road at what their policies are going to do, because if they did, they would understand that that's death to humanity. But some of them know, but they're evil. You know, they're anti-God. Actually, I think that the head of the globalist party, let's call it that, and the head of the communist parties, let's call them, well, yeah, I guess we can call it that. That's what they are. The head of those parties is Satan. Whatever Satan is evil. We know that. If Satan exists, it's Satan in the person, or in the flesh, or in the spirit. If it's Satan as an ideology, it's evil in the hearts of the people that are doing it. I was going to try to be artistic and say it was evil in men's hearts. That brought society down. But I wasn't able to let it on. There was a mine down in this valley. A few years ago it was here. I've got a picture of a failed implosion attempt at a cement silo. This was a coal mine. The coal mine's actually over on our left, but the train, the loadout was over here in this valley, over to the right. And you can be sure that our corrupt government came in here and made sure clean this place up so that it would be extremely expensive for a company to come in here and set up another coal mine. That's what we've got nowadays. We have bureaucracies that are breaking down, and that are pushing the environmental agenda, although the environmental agenda, again, doesn't have anything to do with the environment, but it has everything to do with destroying industry in the West. That's how communism competes. It cheats. That's all they can do. They can just tear everyone else down until they're the only game left in town. That's their way of ruling, because that's what an uncreative, evil group of people end up doing. Look at what happened in World War II. And that's all happening again. Oh well. The trees are beautiful today. Keep in mind, I'm annoyed by all the stuff that's going on, but I also believe that, oh, that's really pretty. I believe philosophically, anyway. No, I believe literally, I suppose, that is what it's supposed to be. That this world was meant to be bad and good, so that the people that inhabit the earth have a choice. They have the opportunity to be good or bad. If you believe in God, and you don't believe God makes mistakes, that God designed everything the way that He wanted it, there's really no other way to consider why the world is the way it is, except that God wanted it to be this way. And what I mean is, I'm not saying that I don't think God is a proponent of evil, but if we don't have the ability to be evil or be good, we don't have the ability to choose. We need to be able to be evil. And therefore, evil must exist. It has to exist. And another point, while I'm thinking about this, that I'll make, wow, it's really pretty down there. It's a beautiful, like, greenish to yellowish color on that's Williams Fork Creek, by the way. It's running back towards where the mine was. It's a very interesting way. Well, that the river terminates in an interesting way there. Anyway, for the people that wonder why there is evil in the world, I really think the simple answer is because we have the ability to be evil. I think that that's simply the answer. But in addition to that, this world, I mean, God put a lot of work into this world, I would think, right? I mean, the world is the way that God wants it. And if that's the case, which I keep doing the if-then thing, right? But if that's the case, then it's very important, apparently very important to God. It's as important as life itself, right? Because we have life. Life is a pretty, I mean, that's quite a big thing here. But we also have the ability to be evil, more or less unfettered, if that's what we want to do, until, of course, we piss off a bunch of other people and they join in and defeat us. I mean, that's kind of how it has been working. But apparently, it is extremely important for us to have the ability to make that choice. Why would God go through all the trouble to set the world up the way it is if God did not want us to have that ability? And I might even go a little bit further. It might be a little bit beyond wanting us to have the ability. It might be that we don't have a choice, maybe. Interesting way. That we have to decide whether we are good or bad. Whether we're with the evil people or whether we're with the good people. Whatever that might be, or the evil thing or the good thing. The evil way of living or the good way of living. And we know what's evil. We know that, quite simply, if you just treat other people the way you want to be treated, that's really all you have to do to be a good person in this world. But that's a really hard thing to do. That's a really hard thing to do. As we all know, right? Because we're all living, we all run into it. But maybe it wasn't meant to be an easy thing. Maybe it's an important thing. These questions keep me awake when I'm driving, keep me alert. I guess to bring it back to the first point to the point that I was making, is that I'm talking about all this bad stuff going on. I mean, the communists, the globalists, what they're doing, because it's in our face. It's shoved in our face all the time, more and more. Because they're bolder and bolder with their intentions. And we let them get away with advancing their cause while we wait for the politicians we've elected to get off of their fucking hands and do something about it. That's a great strategy for them, because all they have to do is pay the politicians off. And how hard is that? Well, apparently that's pretty damn easy. Because it seems to me like almost every politician, oh, it's a coyote it looked like, poor creature. It seems like most every politician has been paid off. Where are the judges? Are there honest judges anymore? I think there are. But where are they? When a judge who understands the legal system, right, they're an attorney, then they become a judge, sees another judge basically committing crimes, for instance, going after Trump the way that they're going after Trump is a crime. It is a complete crime what they're doing. Hell, I'm not a judge, I'm not an attorney, but I can certainly see that, and most people can. Where are the other judges that are good and that are honest? What are they doing? Is everyone corrupt? I don't believe that. But I kind of think that if you're conservative, you're not going for your guns. That's not what conservatives do. That's the picture that we are painted as by the left. But the left, those are the people that do that. But they call us the racists, and they call us the the gun-toting, whatever. Bitter clingers, I think is how Obama put it. Bitterly clinging onto our guns or whatever. That's funny. But Obama's a clown, so I mean, I've never had any respect for anything that guy said. He is the product of these evil people, certainly. He may have had two dads. Anyway, a poor attempt at a joke. Where are the people in authority? Where are all the sheriffs? Where are all the cops? Where are all the people that go out every day and uphold the laws of this country? Where are they with this political stuff that's going on? With crimes. These are crimes that are being committed by our politicians and by people that the politicians are allowing to commit these crimes. I mean, where are these people? I think, to answer the question, I think that these people that are conservative, again, are waiting for the government to do the right thing. We are not people that get out and we don't glue our hands to the asphalt. We don't disrupt the going to work crowd by making a human chain across the road. We don't burn SUVs down, which is a big thing the environmentalists used to do back in the 80s and 90s, if I recall properly. We don't do any of that shit. What we do is we try to live our lives being decent people, and we hope that we can have enough faith in our government and the people that we've elected that they will do the right thing. And again, looking at it, from far away, you can see that the left considers our philosophy as enabling them to do whatever they want. Because all they have to do is buy the politicians off, and they're good, they're golden. And that's a little bit annoying. Wouldn't you think? How long do we wait for our politicians to do nothing and continue doing nothing? When do we say, fuck you, I'm stepping up and I'm standing in your way, whatever leftist? I believe that there are a huge majority of law enforcement people and judges and bureaucrats that aren't bought off, but that are waiting for their government to do what it is supposed to do. I've thought about this a lot since the election crimes that started, or that we were more aware of anyway, in 2018, which by the way got Kristen Sinema elected in Arizona. She was a benefactor of the election crimes that took place in 2018, and there were others, but that was one of the obvious ones. And then in 2020, when they just stole an entire election, I mean, blatantly stole it. Everyone's waiting. Everyone is still waiting. But I think that that's what's going on. I think that the good people haven't given up. They're just waiting. They don't want to have to step in and pick up the tools that the politicians have thrown down and do the job that we were expecting our politicians to do. That's because that's how a responsible government would respond to what's going on. The left and the Democrats are out of control. Or maybe I should say they're in control. But that is out of control. They shouldn't be in control. They're doing what they want, when they want, at will. They are weaponizing the agencies like they've never been weaponized before. And believe me, they've been weaponized for a long time. The EPA has been a weaponized agency since its birth. Anyway, all this bad stuff going on in this world, and this world is exactly as God has intended it to be. So you have to say, if you believe in God, and you don't believe that, if you believe like me, God doesn't make mistakes, that this world was not meant to be heaven, and this world was not meant to be, all good, and this world was probably not meant to be like a vacation experience, that this world is going to put people into situations where they're forced to choose between right and wrong. And that's the way that it's designed. I don't have to say that I know God designed it that way, because that doesn't even matter. This is a world that we have. This is the way the world works. So I'm working backwards from the facts and looking at it and saying, if you believe that God exists and he doesn't make mistakes, this is what God intended. And in a way, that's kind of good news. I mean, it's actually probably really good news. Because apparently what's important in this world, I think I got a vibration going on here today. I feel on my front end. Maybe it's around. By the way, we just passed Colorado. We're climbing 9 Mile Pass here. Quakies and the oak brush, whatever, is really beautiful right now. It's a golden brown color, very pretty. Anyway, back to my tirade. So, I think that just looking at the facts, if you believe in God, you've got to understand this is what God intended this world to be. So, as amazing as this world is, what in the heck is all over the road here? Oh, okay, I see. This world was not intended to be an amusement park ride for us. We are apparently here, at the very least we know that we are here to choose either good or bad. And of course, you go through your life and you might be bad and you might become good, or you might be good and become bad, or, or you might, who knows? None of us are perfect. We do know that. Oh, man, that's really pretty. I wonder if I could say that really, like in a sentence or two. I'll try. We know there's evil in the world. People are always asking, why would God allow evil in the world? Why would God allow pain, sadness, whatever, evil? Well, I think that's why. I think that's because if we don't have it, we don't have it to choose. And that it's apparently extremely important that we choose, because not only are we able to choose whether we want to be good or evil, but we're basically have to. We are forced to. Sitting on the fence itself is a moral statement, right? Apparently, from what I can see, of all the things, let's see if I can get around this guy here. Oh yeah, look at that. Perfect. I mean, if you think about it, the idea that we can do anything in this world, right? I mean, that's another thing. We can do anything we want to do. What is everything is permissible, not everything is advisable, that kind of thought. But when it comes to good and evil, we have to choose. It seems to me that of the things that we do in this world, that is probably one of the most important things that we are here to do, because we have to do that. I mean, we have to. It's a lot like we have to eat, you know, to live. We also have to choose whether we're going to be evil or good to live. Beyond that, there's not that much that we have to do. We can, you know, go and be fabulously wealthy, or we can be poor, or we can be, you know, we can focus on whatever we want, whether that's money, or sex, or music, or drugs, or being, you know, whatever. But there's always a component of good and bad. We can't get away from that. And when we finally die, when we leave this world, all of the things that we've done, all of the things that we have gathered up, you know, and hoarded or saved or whatever, be it money or whatever, you know, physical things, instantly become useless. That's another twist on everything. It makes you wonder if maybe all these other things that are out here are just diversions, you know, that we can indulge in. Like having the nicest car, or the nicest house, or the nicest old lady, having the most money, being super smart, being really good looking. I mean, you know, all the things that, the vanity, the things that we could be, or the pride things that we could be, or the lust things that we could be. I'm just not liking how this car's feeling today. It's feeling, may not be that bad. I'm a bit paranoid about this car. Apparently it's time to change the subject. I've got to replace the differential in this car. I ordered it over the weekend and it still hasn't shipped. And that really, it was wearing on me because we have an Arctic front coming in. It's winter. I mean, it's winter. We are heading into winter, and I have a major mechanicking operation job to do on this car. I say a major job because I have to take the front tires off, the hubs off, the wheels off. Well, the wheels off, the hubs off. Disconnect all of the steering, the suspension, pull all that, get it out of the way. Unhook the differential from the drive shaft, and then unhook all the mounting points in the differential before I can get it out. That's a lot of work. Then I've got to reverse that with what I hope to be a good differential. And I won't know if it's good or not. I mean, I will look at it. I'll do what I can to try to educate myself about it. But this is a big job, and it's going to be cold. And my garage is a garage floor. The rest of my garage doesn't exist. Thank you, Joe Biden, you fake ass president. Criminal. So I'd like for that I'd like for the differential to show up. I'm getting a little bit annoyed. And I paid a reasonably good amount of money, more a premium, we'll put it that way, for this particular differential from this particular company. And so far, it's Wednesday and they haven't done a damn thing. I ordered the thing, I think Saturday, over the weekend. I didn't expect them to ship it over the weekend, but I thought maybe Monday they'd ship it. Wow. I have seen 3 of those birds now in my travels. Yesterday and today, 2 of them yesterday. Now they've been hit by vehicles. How bizarre is that? It's a rare sight. And I've seen 3 in 2 days. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to try to be a little flexible about this. I'm going to prepare my old Jeep. I'm probably going to start driving it until I fix this, get this vehicle fixed. But we'll see. So far it's been fine in 2-wheel drive. When I don't have to shift the front differential in, it's fine. But I think I'm getting just a tiny bit of a vibration today. And because of that, I'm wondering if the damage to that differential isn't just increasing. I don't know that would be the case. The differential really isn't in play right now, but the CV joints do attach to that differential. I guess I could take the CV joints completely out right now, but I don't relish the thought of having all those nice machine surfaces that should be covered with grease and shielded from, the weather, exposed to potentially rain and snow. And I don't want to drive this car if I don't have 4-wheel drive. So I think I'm going to get my Jeep worked up, and I may just drive it until I get this one fixed. I don't know if you can tell, but we are heading downhill, and we continue heading downhill all the way into Meeker. So in a sense, when you're leaving Meeker coming south, you're essentially climbing up from downtown Meeker. You're climbing up, you're increasing in altitude. In my opinion, you're climbing up 9 Mile Pass. I mean, from the town of Meeker. It just doesn't look that way because you're not in a valley, like a little enclosed valley or a mountainside, which is more of what a pass looks like. I want that for whatever value is worth of that comment. I'm quite unimpressed with my comment, my own comment. Yeah, I'm just feeling a little bit of a vibration here. But I could be suspicious. Definitely feeling it. But it might be normal. It's not bad. So I did some work on my Cherokee the last few days. Basically, just looking at everything to make sure things were okay. And I started with the back tires because I had some strange issues with that Jeep last winter. And this summer, for that matter. The brake's not working properly on it. And I found my rear passenger, the hydraulic cylinder that operates the brakes, which is called a wheel cylinder, was leaking and had leaked all over my brake pads. And I don't know if it makes those brake pads more or less able to, to work properly. But I do know that there's an imbalance between the left and the right brakes. When I hit the brakes hard, I drove this a few weeks ago, and in the morning heading into Steamboat, I had a light turn red on me. I hit the brakes hard, and one side or the other locked up completely and screeched to a stop. That big screeching sound you hear when a tire locks up. This car didn't. That Jeep did that. Along with what it had done in the winter, which was kind of strange. So I thought I'd probably have some issues, and I certainly did. But today is going to be a good day, and I will attempt to take care of the rear brakes today, and potentially look at the front brakes and the steering, and just things that I can do. It's definitely an old car. Things can break down anytime on an old vehicle, but also on an old vehicle, things do seem to last pretty decent too. I mean, once they're sort of worn in, it seems like they have a pretty decent service life. So, we will see. that. All right, y'all. I got to do some work. I'll be back.